This episode contains references to mental health difficulties, disordered eating, and suicide. If you or someone else you know is struggling, please see the resources available in the show notes.
I think when you build a business, the stakes are so high, and then you get even more and more protective of what you've built. And you know the sacrifices that have happened behind the scenes, and you just won't do anything but go into that protective survival fighter mode. And there's definitely a fire in me. I'm honest about the fact that being a founder is complicated. I am extremely passionate about my customers, about product, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm a great leader. Who I am now is really not who I was. I really found life difficult as a teenager and was very emotional, very anxious. I still obviously have anxiety today, and struggling with disordered eating for so many years until I went off and studied.
I'm Lorna Jane Clarkson, activewear designer, author, and founder of Lorna Jane. And this is Never Give Up, a series where we explore the stories of women who have faced challenges head on and come out stronger. In this episode, I'm joined by Jess Sepel, a wellness entrepreneur and founder who's reshaped the way we think about health, balance, and leadership. Jess shares how her childhood in South Africa and her parents' passion for healthy living, and how a challenging move to Australia led to years of fad dieting and disordered eating. Since then, she's built an incredible brand in the form of JSHealth. And we'll talk about balancing personal health with running a business alongside her deep passion for creating supplements. Jess Sepel. I can't believe I haven't seen you for so long.
That's so weird.
But welcome.
Thank you for
to the
having
Never
me.
Give Up podcast. I'm so happy. But before we start, I don't know whether this is going to embarrass me or you more, but in 2013, you were one of the models in our Active Nation Day campaign. Have a look.
How did you even find
Oh my God, I have
catalog?
everything. Look how cute you are.
Oh my God. That was like 24. 23 or 24. No, I had like a puffy fad diet face.
You did not. But you know what? You looked beautiful. That's all your inner stuff happening.
I remember with Ash Wilson.
Oh, she's gorgeous too. But I'm like, look.
Oh my God.
Well, that's my little memory of you.
That's what I was saying before. Like, I just remember how excited I was to have that opportunity. Like, when that campaign happened and I was chosen as one of the girls, I was like, career made. I could have just stopped there.
But we talked about what you wanted to do. I think you just finished studying, and we talked about, you had these big plans about how you were going to change people's thought process around food, and you definitely were someone going places, and I have been watching you ever since. And I honestly, I said it to you before, but I actually think of you like you're my little sister, which I know is delusional.
I've got goosebumps.
It's delusional, I know, but like,
That is just
your second book?
That's my second book. But honestly, did I write that to you?
Dear Lorna, thank you for inspiring us all. Lots of love, JS.
What about the Post-it notes are those recipes?
Oh, these are mine.
To save?
Yeah, but look, there's like just
God, what
this
did
is
you
like
make?
just things like no. This is like things that you've said.
Oh my God.
You work hard enough during the day, at night focus on yourself.
Oh.
I need to remember that.
I actually still practice that.
No, it's
Lorna, that you're my older sister, and really you have been such an inspiration to me. I cannot even believe that I'm here doing a podcast with you. That would have been at 24 years old. If I had known 15 years later I'd be doing what I do today and being interviewed by you, I honestly wouldn't have believed it.
And it's funny, isn't it? You get to one milestone and then you just keep going and
Well, we were talking about never give up.
Yeah, and I think that's when you're passionate about something,
Yeah,
I
I have to say, and I know you're the same, like you can't help yourself.
I know.
That's what passion is.
We're obsessed.
We're obsessed.
Yeah.
I think you have to be an obsessive personality to build what we've built, don't you think?
Yeah, but that's why you need some sort of rules around and routine and boundaries, which is what you talk about. Yeah.
Do you have good boundaries?
Sometimes.
You're learning
I believe like this whole balance thing, I think you have to go in seasons and in flow.
Yes.
And there's times where you can work out every day and make incredible food and get lots of sleep.
And times that you cannot.
Yeah, and you just have to flow with it.
That's why I always say, I don't know if I love balance, but I like boundaries. And it's also being super kind to yourself. There are those weeks I'm having avocado and eggs on toast, actually last couple of weeks in LA, pretty much every night. And just not beating yourself up over it.
Yeah, I know. I'm staying in a hotel at the moment because I'm here. And I seriously last night had a protein shake for dinner.
Yeah. People need to see the reality of when you're building a business, it's not it's just not glamorous in any which way.
But we love it.
We love it.
Maybe I'm just not destined for a glamorous life.
You are so glamorous.
I feel glamorous
You're glamorous
today.
in all of our eyes. You're glamorous in all of our eyes, and you really look so good, so well,
thank you
so
so
healthy.
much.
But you must take care of yourself.
I do take care of myself. I'm actually, did you notice?
Pink
Product
magnesium.
placement. Cheers.
Cheers.
We
That
need
triple 4 magnesium.
Yeah, we need to have like a relaxing conversation.
Do you take the magnesium though at night? Because I know that this is your product. Like I'm telling you, I know because you're more of a powder. I feel you're a powder person.
Yeah, I love it. I feel like it actually gets into my system.
But I always say you feel a product through its dose, which a lot of people don't know.
And I combine it with the eye cream.
Oh my God, I love that you love the eye cream because that's obviously like not our mainstream product,
love
but I'm
that.
so happy that you love that.
And of course, I will recommend, because that's what girlfriends do and sisters do.
Yeah.
I will recommend from the bottom of my heart, hair and energy. Like honestly,
that's such a compliment.
I have like all the hair growing back.
Your hair looks really healthy. I can see when hair's healthy though.
I'm going to send
Take
you
it
some
with
pictures.
the Vitali X collagen, but we'll talk about it. But
We'll talk about it later. Let's start at the very beginning. What was your childhood like, and what were the biggest influences in your early days? So way back before I met Jess.
Yeah, way back. I grew up in South Africa, which I think you went recently.
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh,
Did a
safari. Where did you stay quickly?
At Delini.
There's nowhere better.
Oh, it was incredible.
My husband's also South African. So I had a pretty idyllic childhood. Nothing's perfect, but really good parents, like good people. If you met my parents now, just good people. And they were my biggest influences because they were really practicing and living the healthy life my entire childhood. Like I lived in a home where my mom was always making whole food recipes. She was always cooking. We really only had whole foods in the fridge, and it wasn't in a depriving way. It was just our way of life. And, there was never junk in the house, but on Fridays or Saturdays, we were absolutely allowed to treat ourselves. So I grew up living the healthy life. We would go on family holidays, hiking on our family holidays, cooking, baking healthy recipes, baking healthy muffins. My grandmother was always practicing, well, not the grandmother you've seen on Instagram. I have another grandmother who, she's more of a hippie yogi. She was always practicing yoga, eating her papaya with lemon water and trays of vitamins. And she was such an inspiration. She would go on health retreats every couple of months and very experimental with her healthy life.
So you really had no choice. Like
it was
you
in
didn't
my
know
blood.
anything else.
But I lost that when I was 13 and really discovered fad dieting, and that all went out the window.
And what triggered that, do you think?
I think immigration. I had to change schools, make new friends.
Yeah.
It was such a triggering time, such a transition in my life. And I think it was my way of controlling my very much changing environment. And we know that disordered eating can just be a form of needing to control your environment.
Yeah.
Psychologists will tell you. And so I think I thought that being thinner would honestly make me more lovable and make me feel more confident in myself. And that began a 10-year journey at least of fad dieting. Those photos of me at your campaign, 100%, I can see it in my face. It's like the fad diet face. Binge eating, then the vicious cycle of depriving myself, restrictive with my food intake, and then, that always backfires with overeating and binging, and the cycle continues. It just doesn't, the brain rebels against restriction and deprivation. You know it, you've practiced it. You've always been so inspirational with balance. And that all went out the window for me, and it was all about being skinny, weighing myself. I had to be a certain number in order to feel loved and appreciated. Like I would weigh myself probably 3 times a day. And if I was a couple grams over, I just would self-loathe.
And how did your family react to that?
My mom was quite concerned. She sent me to a nutritionist, but she was definitely concerned. I was 13, 14, going to see a nutritionist to make sure that I wasn't losing weight, but then I would put on weight and then lose weight again. And the thing about fad diets is they all tell you something completely different. So by the end of it, you're actually afraid of all the food groups.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes them work, in fact, for a very short period of time, is that you are being restrictive.
Yes.
And it's so much easier to stop eating carbs or stop eating this or only start eating at this time of day than actually showing moderation and just saying, I've had enough now.
Exactly.
That's so much harder to do.
It's just not sustainable, and the research proves it now. Fad diets don't work. You will get results short term. You will. And I always say, in doing this for 15 years, I'm yet to meet someone who's been able to stick to a fad diet for longer than 6 months in all these years of doing it. So there's no point, because the results, unfortunately, drop away.
Yeah, I'm always too scared of losing any muscle I have.
Yeah. Are you still working out every day?
Well, Yeah, I do something every day, but
Yeah.
I think it's more because I want to be outside and I want
Yeah.
to walk the dog. And but I weight train 3 days a week, and I do some yoga. I've been really bad with my yoga lately. I need to get better
I remember
at
you
that.
always woke up and like did something before work.
I have to do it in the morning.
I remember like exercise is your medicine. I remember you telling me that.
I used to, if I don't do it in the morning, I can really talk myself out of it.
Okay.
Because there's so many other things I love, like work. I can stay at work till 6 or 7 o'clock if someone doesn't ring me up and say, "You're coming home now."
Me too. Actually, we should talk about that. It's just does become healthy and unhealthy addiction.
Yeah.
I've definitely become addicted to work.
I need 2 days, 1 or 2 days, where I know I don't have to leave the office, because that helps me get to the things that I don't get to. And then I can leave at a regular time the others. But I just need to know that those 2 nights I don't have to be anywhere. But yeah, the working out in the morning, it has to be done in the morning.
Has to be done, me too,
Yeah.
because I'm too tired after work. I'm actually a super chill person. Like I'm the person you could go on holiday with tomorrow and have the best. I'm super relaxed. And then I have a, let's do that. Let's go to a health retreat together.
Or even we'll just start at Belongil. We'll just go to Belongil.
Belongil, where Lorna lives, everyone is the best in the world. And then I have a super anxious side. I mean, I've been diagnosed with OCD and anxiety, very obsessive, drive myself crazy, so hard on myself, A-type, perfectionist, drives my anxiety up the wall.
But let's
I go through periods.
Let's talk about that though, because I'm like that too, in that
You would have to be.
I feel like when I'm doing something, I have a picture in my head of what it's going to look like or how it's going to be, and I have to get to that level. And quite a few creatives that I know as well, I say to them, how do you turn it off? Because it's actually creeping into my life as well, and I really need to be able to just say, oh, that's okay, because nothing's just okay for me. It has to be how it is. And they just said, you can't turn it off. You're always going to be like that, and you have to look at it as a superpower. And I do look at it as a superpower in
That's
business.
Nice. I think that's a really nice reminder.
Yeah, and because I think it's one of those things, it's like a love-hate. Yeah, that's good stuff. I know who makes that.
I love the pink, with the pink.
It's one of those things that, you know, you love it because it makes you successful, and it makes you work at a higher level that possibly a lot of people can't work at. But it also drives you crazy.
Drives you crazy. I think it comes at a cost. And I think you have to see it as your life is a series of trade-offs. Constantly. I think people only see the glamorous good sides of us on social media.
Yeah.
You know, Lorna's so successful, has all the homes, has everything, but they haven't seen the behind the scenes of the trade-offs, the long, late hours, the moments of wanting to give up. Probably the reason why you called it Never Give Up.
Yeah.
Like the constant need to be resilient through this journey. I think it's exhausting, it's tiring. I think being obsessive about something comes at a cost.
Yeah, I agree.
When there's so much good, there's so much reward, and we have been rewarded, and we've created amazing companies that we love so much. But I think it does come at a cost, and that's why we really have to learn to look after ourselves, because it can come at the cost of our mental health, our joy, our social life, all the little things. You know, the business in so many ways just does come first.
Yeah, and you don't want to wake up one day and think, I didn't do all those things.
Yeah.
You know, you have to plan these things into your life.
Yeah.
Like I had been wanting to go on a safari for so long.
Yeah.
And even last year, my husband, Bill, said, oh, why don't we do that when we retire? I said, I'm never retiring. I'm doing it this year.
You are so never. That's why the other grandmother who's turning 101 next month.
I love her so much.
Guess when she retired?
When?
92.
And what business
So
does
she was a
have?
milliner, a hat maker for really famous people in South Africa. Like Nelson
I have
Mandela's
a question about
family.
her, but we'll cover it
we'll
now.
Get there.
I just love it when she says, box on, Jess,
on.
box on.
Said it to me yesterday. She's had a really tough time recently, and she just never lets that one go. You've got to stay strong, Jess. Keep boxing, keep boxing. And my dad says the same. It's his mum. And it's so funny how that one line, I think, has gotten me through this journey in so many ways, because I'll sit at my desk and it'll be 6 p.m. and the website thing's happening, and you just hear the words like, Jess, box on, box on. And not just in work, but in life. Like life is hard. And I think you just have to box on, because it does get better, and you do get stronger, and the business whatever hard times our businesses have gone through, really, they get so much stronger afterwards.
I mean, it takes a tough time to get you to the next level.
It does take
tough. I call them defining moments, like you push through and they're like, wow, now I can see it. Now, now I know why I did that.
It.
But your grandmother, is there anything about her business sense or anything else that she's influenced you in your business and in your life?
Oh my gosh, I guess as an entrepreneur, she was a working female her entire life, had her own business, really made hats for very famous people, Nelson Mandela's family, and never stopped working, never gave up. She had a really tough life. She financially struggled. She left home at a really young age. She got divorced. She was the absolute breadwinner throughout my dad's life. She was the only one who was bringing in any money, and she was just a survivor. She was a fighter. And as much as I've had a really beautiful, blessed, privileged upbringing, I also struggle, and I've had to be a fighter. People don't know, like, it hasn't actually been that easy for me all the time. And so I probably she inspires me with her survival, I'm a fighter energy, and you just got to keep fighting.
Yeah.
And, you know, what she created with nothing is pretty incredible.
Yeah, my trainer says to me that I've got this tiger inside me, and he only sees it when I'm training. I mean, I've been training with him for like 11 years.
I see the tiger.
But it's like, yeah, here's Lorna, and she's all happy and nice, and then suddenly someone says something, he says, your whole face, like your eyes just change,
so
and it's
funny.
like, what did you say? You know, or just like...
The fire in you.
Yeah.
I think we do. I think you have to. Like, I do have, Brookie will tell you, my team will tell you, I do have a fiery side. I have a fire in me because I'm so passionate. We're so passionate, and we're so protective. Protective of what we've built, protective of our lives, loyalty. Like, there's just two, I think when you build a business, there's just two, the stakes are so high, and then you get even more and more protective of what you've built and you know the sacrifices that have happened behind the scenes, and you just won't do anything but go into that protective survival fighter mode. And there's definitely a fire in me that has kept me going through the journey. And sometimes it's a good fire, and sometimes it's probably not such a good fire. And we know I'm honest about the fact that being a founder is complicated. I'm extremely passionate about my customers, about product, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm a great leader. And I know how to handle tough situations with my team. You know, they know I'm very transparent, and one of our core values as a team is transparency and vulnerability. And I say to them, like, I'm not perfect at this. Like, you don't expect that of me. I'm learning too. I've been doing this for 6 years as the business. Like, I am not going to be perfect on this journey. And I want you to come to work knowing that you might not be perfect either. And what happens from that is it becomes a safe place where we can show up as imperfect humans. Like, I'll come and they'll see I'm having a bad day or a hard mental health day, or something's happened with the business that's really taken a toll on me. And I see the same with them when they're struggling and they're having a hard thing with their families, or something's going on at home. I can see it in their eyes, and I'll say, go take the day off, or have a mental health day. And they know to say the same to me. You're struggling. But I just think it's so important for us founders to acknowledge that we are not perfect, and because no one's perfect. Then there's no human being that is perfect, and because we're founders. And I actually think, I say this a lot, founders are intense. Founders are complex because we are so passionate. We are full of creative energy, and it's a different energy to running a team.
Yeah.
They're totally different energies. We see the vision. We know what our companies can be, and I'm not necessarily that good at running the team and perfect structure and putting processes in place. They're totally different energies. And so I'm just very honest I'm very honest with my team and very vulnerable with them. Maybe because I'm the daughter of a therapist, and I just say...
I didn't know that.
My mom was a therapist, and just showing up as an imperfect leader and founder, and they know I'm working at it, and I'm constantly trying to be a better leader.
Yeah, that actually makes me feel better about myself. So thank you so much for sharing that, because I quite often get asked, what sort of leader are you? And my first reaction to that question is, I don't even consider myself a leader. Yeah. I'm the founder. I'm the person who has the guiding light, the dream keeper. I know where I want to be, but I'm not going to be that person that makes sure that everyone has the people in my team have their annual talk about where they want to go with their careers and things like that. Yeah. My style of leadership is like by example.
I love
work
that.
hard, and I'm passionate, and
I love that.
I do the best for the product, and I'm always thinking about the customer. And I went through a stage where I was spending quite a bit of time working on the business, and I almost fell out of love with my business because I had all these people looking after the creative, and I really missed it. Like, there's nothing I like more than being with my design team, talking about products and playing with fabrics. And
I think it sucks the life out of you when you're not doing what you love. It really does. You start seeing it in how you show up to work. You just don't have the same energy and motivation. It's so interesting that you say that, because I'm in therapy every week, where I can at least
not with your mother.
No. No, thank gosh. But like, where I can at least offload to someone who's not in my everyday life and say like, I really struggle to say no. I really struggle to be super real and honest with that feedback. And it's so amazing because therapy has been able to really strengthen me as a founder. Like, just one of my strengths recently has been giving really honest feedback without feeling anything, without feeling guilty or bad or anything. Like, hi guys, I think we can do a much better job at these EDMs, or I think we can do a much better job at the text overlay on these ads.
Instead of saying, I hate it. Start again.
That, or exactly. Or instead of saying, yeah, I like it, but like.
No, I would never do that.
Well, maybe I would
I'm
say.
glad you're doing that. I'm glad you're not doing that.
I think that's something I've had to really work on, is just feeling confident enough to it's my brand. I deserve to be able to say when I'm not happy with something.
I agree.
You know.
Can you remember what you wanted to be when you grew up?
When I say growing up, I knew at 13. 14, my grandmother took me to a yoga retreat for my 14th birthday. Alicia. Do you know Alicia?
No.
In the Hunter Valley.
No.
And we went, she took me for my birthday present, and we went, and there was a nutritionist giving a lecture one evening, and I literally turned to my grandmother and said, I really want to be like her.
What is it like working with your husband, Dean, and what is the dynamic? How do you make it work?
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's so interesting because people ask me that all the time too. And because I feel like 99%, it's been such a positive experience, I also don't get it. I think you have to have a really, really good foundation, a really, really strong foundation where you just love each other, and you actually, I know you do this too, like, we do come first before everything else.
Yeah.
We do. The business, of course, high priority. We work really hard. It is all encompassing. But at the end of the day, our values and morals are extremely aligned. The way we were brought up, both of us, just really good parents, really good families. We just know what to put first. And I think even though we've worked really hard, even though we've sacrificed so much, we have put each other first.
Yeah, and I think I often think about if I was doing this business and Bill was doing something else.
Yeah.
Like, I'd feel like I had to.
it.
I know, I would feel like I had to, like, apologise to him if I was staying back at work.
You understand each other.
You know, when we had the business in the US, if I'd have to go to the US, he wouldn't be going with me. So we get to work really hard, but we get to do it together, and we don't have to apologise
Exactly.
for the long hours or taking a call from another country at 2:00 in the morning.
100%. I understand what he's going through. He understands what I'm going through. But I also, selfishly, I can say this to you, and I sometimes, like, feel guilty because I know not everyone has this experience. I just, like, love that I can spend every day with him. I feel like it's such a blessing. If he went off to his own job every day, I would feel like sad.
We're a bit cushy, aren't we?
I would be, I just think, and then we also haven't had children. So we have had more time. So I just want to acknowledge, I know I think it's more difficult when you've had children to be able to prioritize the business and your relationship. Like, when we have holidays, it's just Dean and I. When we have weekends, it's just Dean and I. It's just in LA, building the company now, it's just Dean and I. I think, if kids would have added a lot more I think they would have added a harder dynamic to this.
I mean, Bill and I chose not to have children, and if I'm being really honest, it was my decision. I mean, he was happy to do with whatever I wanted. But I really loved my business so much. I just thought that I knew that if I had a baby, I'd fall out of love with my business, and I didn't want to risk that because I already had the business. I think now, in hindsight, I don't regret it, but because I try not to regret anything in life.
Yeah, I'm sure it adds an extra layer of complexity. So I've been very lucky that when I do have time off and when I do take a breather, like now, the end of the year, we always close the office. Like, I can just give quality time to our relationship. But the other thing is, our parents work together. But my parents have always worked together, and so have Dean's.
Okay.
So we saw it modeled in a way that was pretty healthy. I think it's probably not for everyone. I think you have to have a really strong base. You have to be extremely respectful of one another.
So tell me about pressure, though, because when your business is your name.
Yeah.
Like if people think JSHealth, they think Jess Sepel, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Huge.
to me, and in my experience, everything that goes right in the business, you get all of the acclaim. You're this genius. This has come up with this amazing product. And when you know you've had all of these people and your wonderful husband by your side, but then when something goes wrong, it's very personal because you're that person that did it and you're terrible and you should have thought differently. And
it's crazy.
And that is my experience. Like it's very hard. And my husband gets to walk through his life anonymously. No one even recognises him. And I love to be recognised, but not all of the time.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
So it makes business so personal.
It does.
What is your experience with that? And would you possibly change it if you had to do it again?
It's actually such a good question because I'm not sure if I've ever thought about it. And pressure, I just think it's actually one of the most underspoken about emotions that females in particular face. Pressure to be perfect, pressure to be the perfect wives, friends, mothers, sisters, daughters, businesswomen, leaders. I just think the pressure we feel is enormous. And I think pressure eats away at you. And I think having your name attached to your brand is extremely pressurizing. And I created JSHealth as an accident. Like it was a blog. It was going to be Jessica Sepel J. And then I just literally one day I was on a walk in St. Ives where I met Dean. And I remember thinking, well, I'm just going to put the word health on it because I wanted the blog to represent health and I want the word to be attached to my name. So like JS, Jessica Sepel Health. Never in a million bazillion years did I think I'd have a company, a vitamin company. So would I change it? Probably not. I think what people love about both of our companies is probably they feel the warmth, they feel the person, the care, the fact that someone really, really...
There's someone behind it.
There's the real story.
They can put a face to the name.
There's a story behind this. There's a person behind this. There's someone who actually cares about me, whether it's designing clothes and knowing exactly what your customer feels comfortable in when she's doing a workout. Or I do know exactly what a magnesium should be. You know, and that's Jess. And I think it wouldn't have been what it is today without Jess and Lorna name attached. But we can't deny the pressure that we face. I mean, when the business goes through hard times, I can tell you it's like literally lying underneath a mountain.
And Bill can just say, this will pass, you know. But for me, I just feel like everybody's looking at me, you know? And
that's what I struggle with the most. Brookie and Dean will tell you, like, I'm not sure if I was made for this. I am not sure if, you know, some people love it. They really thrive off having a big social media presence. They want more. They want more of the attention and excitement and out every night in events. Like, what people don't know about me is I'm actually an introvert.
I think so. I've never been analysed.
I don't feel comfortable with my life being out there. You know, I don't. And like I struggle with it because I know people want Jess. They want to see Jess. They want to see my life. They want to see my realness. I think people have always just loved Jess is so honest. Jess is so real. Of course, I'm the face and founder of my brand. And so when I speak passionately about why I created a formulation called Skin and Digestion, people can feel that passion pouring out of me. But what the other side of that is just, it's exhausting, really exhausting. It's pressurizing. And for me, it feels uncomfortable. And as the business has grown and it's had more eyes on it and more recognition, like, I don't know if you've probably seen what's happened. Like there a lot of negativity came as success came.
Oh, let's talk about that. So I feel like, and I actually, okay, I'm going to talk about it. Okay, so I remember once that you were at Belongil and you reached out to me and you were going through some stuff and I knew exactly what you were going through because I've been watching you because I look at you as a younger sister and I've been cheering you on in the background saying, go Jess, box on,
I'm emotional.
box on. And I felt like, you know, you were this new thing and everyone was writing about you and I knew that feeling.
Yeah.
This girl that could do no wrong and was just like amazing. And then somebody, I can't even remember what happened to you, but someone says something or does something and then suddenly you feel like, you know, you get a small amount of bad coverage in the press, which is totally unfounded. And they just love it. They love to go, okay, let's build her up, let's build her up, let's build her up, and then smash. And I'm not saying the press are terrible because they're not. they're doing their job. But I just feel like there's something about, and I don't know whether it's just women, but they love to build us up and then try to find something about us that's not perfect.
Understand it. I can't understand it.
And I see it with so many people. And I think...
And anyone you know who's successful, you've gone through the same, like, they've had the same experience. Like, as soon as you rise to the top, they just want to find anything to cut you down. And I really struggle with it.
Yeah, and that's where you build resilience.
It is.
And now, of course, it's awful when someone just says something and everyone takes it as true and, you know.
Yeah, I think you messaged me.
Yeah. You messaged me and you said, are you still around in Belongil? And I had just left. I think I had posted something about being at the beach house and you were there and I said, I've just left. I'm like on the highway. I'm nearly in Brisbane. And I just want to say to you, I wish I turned around and gone back but I think you were leaving the next day.
I have tears in my eyes.
I just felt to myself that I should have been there for you and I sort of knew what it was about. And you're my little sister. I didn't want you to go through that, you know.
Thank you. That means so much. It was such a hard time. It really was. And I can't even talk about it. But it's just like you just want to protect your baby, like what you've built.
Yeah.
And it is personal. Like people would say to me, stop bringing the emotion into it. And by the way, I have learned that. Like business, you do have to try and take the emotion out. But this is so deeply personal to me. Like I don't just create products to create a business. Like this is like, I really, truly want to help people.
It's your life's mission.
This is my life's mission and purpose. And someone trying to take that away from me in any which way, in a big way or in a small way, I can't. I can't handle it. It's just, I'm too protected. But thank you so much. That means the world to me. Yeah. I've gone through, and we all have, I've gone through really hard periods building JSHealth. And sometimes I've shared it, sometimes I haven't. You don't know how much to share, how much not to share.
Yeah.
But it really, you're right. Like it builds resilience in you that you wouldn't have found if not for that situation. That's the truth. Like the strength that I have now, the resilience that I have now, like I know how to handle things better. And I have so much faith in my brand. Like it instilled even more faith in myself and my brand. And that, like, nothing can beat that, you know? Like, no one can take this away from us.
So what was the first vitamin?
It actually was going to be anxiety and stress. It was going to be, I'm obsessed with adaptogenic herbs and magnesium and nutrients for the stress response and I've always been a big believer, it's actually trending now, cortisol, but I always loved nourishing the adrenal glands because when your nervous system is nicely balanced and there's the perfect amount, well, there's no such thing, but cortisol is nicely balanced, and your nervous system is in balance, you feel really good. Like I can tell you now, my nervous system has gone through too much in the last couple of months, so I'm tired. But when you look after your nervous system and your adrenal glands, you feel amazing. So I wanted to create an adaptogenic formulation for that. And it just ended up being, though, that was taking some time. And I discovered this kelp, what we call the JSHealth Miracle Kelp. I literally was watching people's hair grow like wildfire. And I was like, why has no one used kelp in hair supplements? They use biotin and silica and collagen. And we looked into and I myself was using this kelp. And then we looked into the research and we saw that kelp, or iodine from kelp, has been shown to restore hair thickness and growth. But then the extra layer is in the specific kelp that we use. That's from Nova Scotia and then comes to Tasmania and it's extracted there. And the purity of this kelp is extraordinary. I think our kelp, I mean, it's exclusive to our brand, but the purity of our kelp is extraordinary.
I love it when you talk science.
But this kelp, and no one used, so it's a very simple formulation of 2 kelp extracts with zinc. And I do feel so proud that no one else in the world had a formulation like that. And that was purely because I had so many years seeing what works and what doesn't. Like I'm so fortunate for those years because JSHealth Vitamins only happened 7 years after building the JSHealth community. So I had this incredible community of women who were telling me what they were struggling with. And I was able to trial and experiment with nutrients and minerals. Yeah. And I didn't see success with silica and biotin and all these other random ingredients.
It's really interesting because that's where authenticity comes in. Like the same in my career, I was a fitness instructor.
Yeah, before the clothes.
Yeah, and so I'm like, well, you know, it made sense that I would invent activewear because I was running from class to class in G-string leotards and it sort of wasn't acceptable to go and, you know, go and pick up your groceries or, get petrol in your car in a G-string.
I love that you created a whole new sector.
So I just thought, I need something that's actually great to work out in, but that I can actually do
Look
other
good in
things in.
afterwards.
So I was in the industry. And then all
cool.
my friends who are fitness instructors, they wore it for so long and they gave me feedback and I perfected it. So it's the same thing. Like, I've been in business 35 years. I'm still learning.
Oh, well, that's relieving.
But you just have
For
to
all of us.
but you just have to give yourself that time. When it comes to developing new ideas and new products, you've said that you're often inspired by your customers. Mm-hmm. Do you have any standout stories about this?
Oh, I think just really always keeping my connection to my customers. That's a good question. Like, standout stories from the customers or because of product development? I mean,
anything. For me, have you had a customer that's inspired you to do a certain product, or a group of customers? It feels like everything you do is inspired by...
Yeah, every product has been.
Yeah.
Every product really has come from my community. I mean, in COVID, libido. Suddenly we're hearing all from the community, low libido, low libido. It's been a real thing, a real trend. And
wow.
I feel so grateful that my community are so honest and open with me, and I'm sure you're the same. And they were just telling me low libido, low libido. And I was like, wow, I was never intending to create a product for libido, but that's how Libido Plus and Hair and Libido actually came into fruition. Just thought, no one had ever done that combination before, and a lot of people want that healthy hair, but also want, it just made me feel like it felt like a sexy, confident product.
Hi.
And that's an example of just a product I would never have created, but truly listen to our customers and communities. I think JSHealth is pretty known for its obsession with doses. And supplements are just that, They're a therapeutic dose of nutrients and minerals that we love through food. And I actually have a less is more approach to vitamins. If you can be doing all the right things, but still feeling bloated, and that's where detox and debloat and our probiotic can really change the game. You can be doing all the right things, and I know you do, and still not sleeping well. That is where a research-backed sleep formulation with passion flower, lavender oil extract, and magnesium, all the things that have been proven to support sleep, can truly make a difference. The amount of people that I meet that eat healthy, exercise every day, and really struggle with gut health, and when I give them a probiotic, the way that changes their digestive system is phenomenal. There are some formulations that people just generally feel better taking, and that is magnesium, probiotic, fish oil, and sometimes, depending, turmeric.
I just love the way you're so passionate about
my community. I think what is so interesting is that before JSHealth Vitamins, the JSHealth community and I would just meet up every month. This is when I was doing Lorna Jane photo shoots, and just so excited, so passionate. We would meet up in the park and just talk health. We would just talk about what we were all struggling with. I'm struggling with gut health. I'm struggling with sleep. I'm struggling with anxiety. We would all bring JSHealth recipes and just talk and connect. And that still exists today, and they still my community today. And just before, I was on a Qantas shoot at the airport, and this gorgeous girl who was working on the shoot, and she already told me an hour or two after meeting her. I just thought, she probably didn't even know who I was, really. And she's like, Jess, I've had all the books. I've been following JSHealth for a decade. And they started listing, I take skin and digestion with fish oil, all the very niche things that I've spoken about. If you're going to take a skin product, combine it with fish oil. And she's like, and I do Vitalix collagen with, just all the, I was like, I couldn't believe it. And I really, it sounds so corny and cliche saying this. And it is truly what drives me, because I'm tired. I'm a bit burnt out at the moment, but hearing from my customers is just so, what is it? It's my passion drug. It really is what makes me think. Her telling me that today makes me excited to go into my next MPD session on Thursday. Her passion and her telling me all those things she doesn't realize what she did for me today.
But I love that. She's trying to tell you what you've done for her, but it's so much more for you. And it's exactly the same. It's another defining moment where you think, that's why I do it.
And I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to top you up. And she's like, no. But she doesn't, I'm not sending, that gives me joy. She doesn't realize that she is a blessing to me, they think,
She's the reason.
As
the reason
founders,
you
we're
exist.
beyond that. We're not beyond that. You are our everything. Our customers are our reason. They are our why.
Yeah.
And we have this because of them. And I think it gets problematic when you lose sight of that.
Yeah, and you're thinking to yourself, she's doing what I'm telling people to do. Someone's listening. I'm getting somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm changing the way women are doing things. I'm helping them with their health.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
get
our
it.
why. You get it.
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
No, but I know you get that all the time. Sorry, I'm just more saying,
I
like my
don't.
customers,
Yeah.
maybe they don't even realize themselves what an impact they still have on me.
And they always will, trust me, from someone who's been doing this for a
35
million years.
years.
Yeah. You have such incredible success with JSHealth vitamins and minerals. I'd love to hear what 2025 looks like for you and what big audacious plans you have.
It's actually such an interesting one because, oh my God, I have no idea why I'm getting emotional.
I love it.
That's weird because I actually don't even feel emotional. Okay. It's really hard for me to, oh my God.
We can stop. We can stop if you want
To
to.
let go. But like I need to let go and build my next baby. Which I'm like I totally like I actually at some points have thought is motherhood for me. Like I'm not sure if it's for me, not sure if it's for me. But I do want to have kids. And Dean wants to have kids and we want to have kids, but I just haven't had the time or the energy. I've felt really scared to pull away from JSHealth for a second to build the next baby because this is my baby. You know what it's like. Like it's just so scary to let go. And so 2025, I hope, looks like building the next baby. And I still want to work and I still believe you can achieve and succeed with having both a career and children. I do. But I've been really afraid to let go. I mean, I've had to create like a step back plan for Jess to be completely transparent. So 2025, I hope looks like different for me, probably from the last 6 years I've worked my butt off. I don't know how you've done
You'll
it.
still be working your butt off.
I will.
But
I
you'll
think
have a new baby.
Maybe it's time for me to just take a little minute. I always want to work. This is what the last 6 years has been such a beautiful what's the word? It's like revealed to me how much I love working. I think as a young person I thought, oh my gosh, you have to work. Like you don't really want to. I've realized how good it is for me, for my mental health, for my strength. Like the resilience I build in the company is literally what builds me as a human being in real life. And I just am so, so grateful for this journey. But what I've realized is I always want to work. I always want to work. I think.
And you deserve it all.
But I just, I think my nervous system just needs a minute in order to like prioritize that next phase. But 2025, like I actually just love it, how it is going. Like I hope to continue to support the team. I just love life. I like life when it's simple. When you wake up, you do a workout, you go to work. My favorite days, I say this to the team because of the whole work from home thing. I say, I see it with them. My favorite days are waking up at 7 a.m, doing a workout, having the coffee, rushing a little bit, having the cold shower, having the JSHealth smoothie, getting to my desk at 9:15, having a really invigorating big work day till 6 or 7 p.m, coming home, making dinner, slowing down. I love an average, simple day. I really, really do. I love it. And I think just more of that. And 2025, my word is just sort of ease and flow. I hope, building a business, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So I hope for ease. And
I wish that for you too, my darling. I wish that for you too.
I have no idea why I got so emotional.
I love it. I love it. So there is a question that we're asking everyone, and that's, what is your never give up moment? And it's one of those things that with never give up, like it's okay to think about giving up as long as you don't. Is it one moment or one, a series of moments that you can think of that you almost gave up, but you didn't?
I think, I lost my best friend to mental health and I went through a really anxious time. And that was one moment where I was like, my anxiety was so encompassing that I just couldn't get myself together and get to work. But I'm not sure if that should be my answer. Because
That's a good answer.
even now, like moving to the US, it's a big, big move. It's a lot. It's a big ordeal. You did it, to pick your life up and move to the US. And there've definitely been moments, I would say this year, where I've been just more tired, I would say. And I really didn't give up. Like I just didn't, this last year, I would say it's like 6 years. And I just didn't give up, you know, like and exactly what you said, it's human to think like, oh my gosh, like, is this sustainable? But I just, and like, it's honestly, it's hard to answer that question because I think throughout the journey is just so many moments of, whoa, like, is this really worth it? Is it worth it? And it's the magic lies in those moments where you want to give up, but you don't.
Yeah, I think about it, like I say, because for me, the thing that comes into my mind in those never give up moments is, why am I doing this?
And then
Then it comes back to your purpose because you want to change women's lives. You know, we both have the same. And I like that that's the first thing that comes into my mind because it does remind me. Yeah. It doesn't mean I don't feel like giving up sometimes for a few days.
We feel like it for a few days, but we can't. No one should.
No. Okay, fast 5. Are you ready?
Ready.
What is the first thing you do in the morning to set yourself up for the day?
Again, sounds corny, but I literally just say thank you. I think Oprah taught it to me. As I put my feet on the ground, I just say today is going to be a good day, and I just flush my mind with everything I'm grateful for. I'm like, thank you for my company, thank you for my husband, thank you for my family. Like I just flood my mind with thank yous. Like I really, really do. And I'm not just saying that to like answer the question perfectly.
No,
like
I love it.
I wake up and I just say thank you. And the days, it's like sometimes I forget. You know, like 99% of the time I do that. But my day is better when I do it.
Yeah, I love that. What song or artist is your go-to when you need some hype or motivation?
Honestly, Backstreet Boys, because it takes me back to being a teenager. Like I just love old school, the 90s.
So do I.
And Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Just like that inspirational, you can do it, Jess.
Box on.
Box on.
Proudest moment.
How Dean and I have managed to always know what matters most through this journey.
That's lovely. Something that surprises people about you.
I hate shopping. You'll be surprised.
You know what? I don't like shopping either.
It's a body image thing. For my days with negative body image, probably. It's like it's funny because my aunties and my grandmother the same. They wear like white cloths, and I'm like, wonder if just in my blood I'm like a hippie. Like I just would want to wear white. I would want to wear white linen cloths every day.
See, I love the things.
You do love fashion.
I love the things. But I don't like going shopping. So
the act of it.
I only actually go to a shopping centre at Christmas. I haven't been yet.
Yeah.
You know, when you have to do the whole looking at everything.
I just don't love it.
I don't mind it at Christmas though because the carols are going and it sort of feels festive.
I just have no desire to like have a shopping day. My friends will know I'll like sit on the couch in the store and like watch them. Like, Dean loves shopping. He loves it. And I don't have it in me. But the other thing people would be surprised is that I am actually an introvert. Like I have a lot of energy and of course when I'm around people I'm exuding energy, but I am someone who really likes quiet time.
Yeah.
I like to be in my own little nook.
Yeah. One word to describe 2025 for you.
I think flow.
Flow.
And surrender. That. Surrender. No, that's my word for 2025, surrender.
I love that. Jess, Sepel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For being on the show. I love you dearly.
Got me
you
crying.
know that. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. As you know, this show is about sharing inspiring women's stories, but it's also about giving back. Yeah. And so to honour you coming on the show, we would like to give $5,000 to a charity of your choice. So could you tell us what is your charity and why it means so much to you?
It's so incredible that you're doing that. Truly. Like, I actually don't think I've heard anyone do that on their podcast. So well done. I'm actually decided to give it to WAJEC, if you're happy with that. It's Women's and Girls Emergency Centre, literally around the corner in Redfern. And it's all about creating a safe place for women and kids who have gone through or going through domestic violence and homelessness. And why I love it, I know them. I had my own personal charity group and they came and spoke to us. And they just have incredible holistic therapies that help these women and children recover from the trauma.
Yeah.
Really holistic and really therapeutic. And the fact that there's a safe space and place around the corner where I live for women and their children and girls. I mean, you know, can't even get into it now, but you just the thought that no one would have a safe place to go to,
and it can happen to anybody.
It's a lot, and so it's a grassroots organization, and I can tell you that money is going to have a true impact. Like I know
Correct.
I'm sure the same, like giving to a charity that you know will really move the needle with that amount. So thank you so
And thank you so much.
so much for that.
Oh, and my
I
pleasure.
really
And thank you
appreciate
for
it.
being
I'm
on the
gonna see
show.
if I can match it. Thank you. Thanks for having me.